I get it, 100%. I get it.
Yeah?
But I'm having difficulties with the physical part of it. Like, as of late, in 2015, I've had a hip replacement. Now my liver enzymes are coming up, which...
These are thoughts, and now they're words. And what kind of things do you think these words are going to turn into?
I know, it's showing up.
Yeah. We know you know. We know you know.
But how do I stop it?
Well, you can't do it all at once when there's momentum. And we understand that in an environment like this, you might want to talk about it more. But at some point, you just have to say to yourself, good feeling thoughts turn to these things, not feeling thoughts turn to these things. So maybe I want to think more about what I'm thinking about and think more what I'm speaking about. And this is the best thing that we have to offer you. When you go to sleep at night, your momentum subsides. And when you wake up in the morning, that's your best shot at getting off on a better vibrational footing. And so if you can get a combination of things together for yourself in the morning that please you, in other words, don't rush, don't wake up at the last minute and rush into your day. That's the worst thing that you could do for your vibrational beginning. Allow yourself some of the leisure or luxury of a little extra time to have a little extra nice experience for yourself. If there's something that you enjoy to eat or to sip, or someplace that you enjoy sitting, or something that you enjoy listening to, or someone that you adore talking to, or something that you take great pleasure in thinking about, or if you can take the time to meditate and quiet your mind altogether, give yourself the best shot. Keep the odds up as best you can. You want to keep the odds up. What's the best likelihood of me practicing the receptive mode? It's starting out in the receptive mode. Jerry used to beg Esther, please don't read your email till after lunch, because it was through the email that things were coming that needed to be tended to, and then Esther would be off on I got to solve this problem thing right away. And so keep the odds up. And there is nothing that you really want to keep the odds up more about than your receptive mode. So we get it. We know. It's logical. When Esther's knee was hurting, it was hard not to think about it. It's hard not to think about something when your knee is hurting. But she did her best of not thinking about it when it wasn't hurting. And it wasn't hurting unless she was on it for a while. And then after a while, it wasn't really hurting unless she was walking. And then after a while, it only hurt when she was on steps. And then after a while, in other words, it got better and better and better. And so every time it wasn't hurting, she was not thinking about it. And that, keeping the odds up. And then when it is hurting, say to yourself, it's getting better. It doesn't hurt as much as it did. It feels better than it did. Isn't it nice that I had this hip replacement? Isn't it nice that I've recovered this well? Isn't it nice that I'm so mobile? If you are going to think about it, then think about it in the most soothing way that you can. But it's not those big things that are tripping most of you up. It's the little stuff that you think isn't important enough to keep the odds up about that is the basis of the momentum that leads to the stuff. And once the momentum gets going, then you can't stop it. And when you try to stop momentum, it's like the analogy that we've been offering for years about releasing your parking brake and pushing your car down the hill in San Francisco. If right before it starts to move, you get in front of it, change your mind and don't let it go, you can stop it. But if you're at the bottom of the hill trying to stop it, you're not going to stop it. And these thoughts are the same way. You got to catch the thoughts that don't feel good early. And that's why we said to our friend, back away from it. But just back away. Just don't think about it. When the thought first comes, you have the option of thinking about it or not thinking about it. You do. When the thought first comes, you've got that choice. You have enough vibrational balance that when the thought first comes, you can change the momentum of it, but you got to catch it early. And don't try to figure out anything. That's the conversation that we so loved having with our friend a moment ago. Don't try to figure out everything that has gone wrong in your life. In other words, sometimes something will happen right now, and when you think about it, it will activate those other things, so you'll be thinking about those too. But if you catch it early enough that it doesn't activate those other things, now those other things are changed just a little bit by your different response to this one. Did you hear that? So something comes up that's sort of like something that's bothered you for a long time. But you feel bothered and you don't want to feel bothered, and so now your mind's on the receptive mode. You're thinking about self-soothing rather than solving this condition. So you self-soothe by changing the subject, and you accomplish it. So now all those things that ordinarily would have been activated and joined you in this momentum don't, because you did something different. And here's the most important thing. Those past experiences are now forevermore changed because of what you did different just now. So every time you do it, every time you choose an option that feels better, those things have less probability of coming to your mind again. So you get it all cleaned up. You're feeling so good. You've been doing it for a couple of months. Life's going so good. And then you run into that friend. That friend who was with you when you had all those problems. It's easy to get it started again, but it won't be the same. And that friend will say, you feel that friend will really try to get you to come back to where they last left you. And you might be tempted to go because you are a people pleaser. You are, you know you are. Which is a whole other conversation, isn't it? Because sometimes you care about being the path of least resistance to someone else, and you can't be. But it hooks you in, and then it causes you to practice that vibration. And then you say, how do I stop the momentum? The momentum is too much. We say, go to sleep again. Go to sleep and wake up. And go to sleep and wake up, 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 and go to sleep and wake up. And pretty soon, that old momentum will not be a factor. Really. For sure.
So when it's hurting, like in Esther's case,
that's not the time to talk about it, because when it's hurting, if she works on it, she'll amplify the part she doesn't want. Don't work on anything when it hurts. Don't work on anything when you're feeling negative emotion. Don't try to solve a problem when you're all activated about it, because the vibration of a problem and the vibration of the solution are very different vibrations. So it's sort of like problem, and it's like the universe says, duly noted. You say, no, I'm not sure you really know about this problem. I need to tell you more. We got it. You put it in the vortex. We got it. You say, but I need to tell you more, because this isn't the first time that I've had this problem. We've got it. Don't go further. Don't go any further. She went further. Go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow.
Step back.
When you just hold your tongue and seethe silently, the universe isn't listening to your words anyway. The universe is listening to your vibration. And so just not saying the things that you sometimes feel like saying isn't accomplishing anything. You got to understand that the receptive mode always feels good. And so as you practice it more and more, you'll have it. You'll find yourself being so playful, so frisky, so in love with life, so intuitive, so blessed. Yeah. Enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.